In his race to get above deck, Flint nearly lost his footing as the ship listed violently. He slammed into a nearby bulkhead and pain blossomed in his shoulder, but the adrenaline kept him moving. Waves battered the ship from all sides, and the hull groaned in protest like a wounded animal. The rain fell in sheets, lightning crackled, and claps of thunder resonated in the night sky. Flint finally reached the ladder and began to climb. As he neared the top, a new sound joined the mix, and the hair on the back of his neck bristled. Reaching the top, he peered up through the rain and tried to grasp his surroundings. He saw one of the masts was snapped clean in half, lost to the wind perhaps. The crew had mostly secured the other two, which was good. They wouldn't be completely stranded out here. Flint noticed a flurry of movement toward the bow. The adventurers he traveled with were attacking something. Spells shot off into the night. Blades glided across the scaly hide of a creature shrouded in darkness. He couldn't tell what it was. A bolt of lightning struck and momentarily turned night into day, revealing the massive coiled form of a sea serpent. It seemed to roar along with the thunder. Sparks of electricity arced and gathered along its fangs. Its crocodilian head reared back, and it spat lightning from its mouth. Deadly beams struck two of the adventurers, dropping one to their knees and severely harming the other. Flint's druidic training took over. He grasped the terrarium that topped his staff, muttering a rite of summoning in the druidic tongue as he traced a glyph through the air. His eyes glowed a bright green. And suddenly, an angry wasp the size of a warhorse materialized from nowhere and flew at the behemoth. The angry bug lashed out with a stinger the size of a greatsword. The two beasts fought amongst the rain and lightning as the adventurers rallied for another assault. This is an excerpt from a one-shot I played in recently where I used a spell I had never used before, Giant Insect. This is a 4th level conjuration spell available only to druids. It's pretty neat. In exchange for shorter duration and somewhat lesser damage compared to similar options, it has no costly material component. As an action, you summon a big bug within 60 feet of you and choose from 3 options: Giant Centipede, Spider, or Wasp. Each form gives it different benefits that are featured in its stat block, which I'll get to in a second. The giant insect is friendly to you and goes right after you in initiative. The bug's armor class will be at least 15, increasing with upcasting. Movement-wise, we have a speed of 40 feet. Each form also has the spider climb feature, meaning it can crawl anywhere, even upside down on ceilings. Its stats are okay, but it lacks proficiencies of any kind. Its attacks really are the main selling point. It gets 2 if you cast the spell as normal, but it can get up to 4 attacks with upcasting. Its main attack is a poison jab that is pretty okay. For the design of this attack, I appreciate that not all the damage is poison. If you were to encounter poison immunity or resistance, you could still use this spell, it just won't be as effective. When I used this spell in the one-shot, I felt it was a pretty good use of my concentration, both damage-wise and as a creature that could fly out and pursue the enemy. So, what do the 3 options grant you, and which should you choose? Well, Wasp will slap on a 40-foot fly speed, so it can reach enemies the others would have to crawl to. During the one-shot, it was nice. The Wasp could fly out and actually engage the creature in melee. Its carrying capacity is also well over 500 pounds, so you can easily use this as a high-vis mount. Not the best mount, but the aesthetic is very much Druid. The Giant Centipede option grants a bonus action where it can attempt to poison a creature within 10 feet of it until the start of its next turn. I'd only recommend Centipede if you're fighting in very close quarters. Lastly, we have the Spider. This grants the bug a 60-foot web attack. This not only does more damage, but it reduces the target's speed to 0, without a save. This is some of the best control in the game. Most flying enemies can be grounded with this, and you can make multiple attacks at higher levels, so it's very potent. If you're a DM and find your players are using their fly speed to trivialize encounters, this is a great counter for that. This version of Giant Insect is a marked improvement from the last. It feels like a proper summon spell. The 2014 one was weird, clunky, and situational. I'd never seen the spell cast before, but the 2024 version is pretty fun to use. 10 out of 10, would cast again. Is this the most improved spell? Probably not, but I like it. But would you take the spell? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you learned something or entertained, or ideally both.